Hello and welcome back to Fish Fridays with me, Ben the Amputee Angler, where Friday at 6 o'clock I'll sit down and discuss with you one of the many fish species we've got here in the UK, and I'll talk rigs, records, baits and tactics, and I'll even throw in a few top tips as well where I can. And this week we're going to talk about one of everyone's favourite fish. It's coming in now here on the south coast, the smoothhound. Let's go. So the smoothhound, it's a member of the shark family. It gives birth to live young, a long, slender, silvery looking fish, and it's called a starry smoothhound because it's got little stars on the top of its back. Looks very much like a taupe, apart from the business end with a mouth. It doesn't have teeth, it has crushing pads, and it also looks a bit like a spur dog. So all look a bit similar, but the smoothhound, not commercially targeted because it's not worth that much money, although there is quite a big bycatch, so it will get landed, but it's not targeted for that reason alone. You find it in chip shops as a rock salmon, so gill netters and trawlers do get big hits at times. I remember myself personally, after a big southwest blow, we had 400 kilos one day in a net that was designed for Dover sole. So they do, when they're in, they're in. Their heads down on the bottom normally, feeding on things like crabs and fish baits and shrimps. So they're the best baits for them, but we'll come on to that in a minute. Really highly sought after though by anglers, purely because they're quite a big, hard fighting fish, and they don't half go well on light gear. And you find them in close, nice and tight. So when they're in, you don't have to go that far off for them half the time. Shore anglers pick up some cracking fish, as do boat anglers. So coming on to records, the current shore record is a 20-pound 3-ounce fish, which is a lovely fish from the shore, and the boat record is a 28-pound fish. Now, I know from chats with commercial fishermen, they've had smoothhounds well over 20 pound in set nets, in tangle nets. That is well within casting range or near casting range of shore anglers. So there's every chance here, certainly where I am at Brighton Eastbourne, that the shore record could go at any moment. They're not quite as many of them because there is big catches caught commercially by accident. So obviously as that happens, you know, numbers go, especially when they're in pup. If the big females get caught and a commercial when they're gutting them, more often than not, because they're live young, they're just literally gut over the side and the live young swims off. So, you know, the commercials do try to get the pups gone because no one likes seeing that. But the bigger females, they do get huge. So I think personally there's every chance those records can go. It's just a matter of when for those. So let's talk baits for smoothhound. Everyone's favourite bait for smoothhound is a crab bait because that's their main food choice. Their heads down normally, they're munching on crabs, be it hardbacks, peelers, spider crabs, and even hermit crabs. That's their favourite bait, favourite food to eat. But they will also take things like squid and mackerel. They love a fish bait as well. So just tends to be that crab baits are normally easier for the shore angler to gather, especially hardback crabs. A little drop net in a river or a crab trap perhaps. Good fun to do with the children if you've got children. That's what I do. I take my boys down to the local creek, bit of smoked bacon and a drop net. Don't ask me why that works, but the crabs go mad for it. But you can use anything like a chicken carcass. The crabs aren't fussy. And then you've got a nice fresh crab bait, little bit of seaweed in the bottom of a bucket and you're good to go and it's free. So that's what I do. But peeler crab is a great choice. The favourite bait for me though is a hermit crab. If you know any commercial friends or your tackle shop sells them, hermit crab is absolutely killer. They go mad for it. And I'll put a picture in now of a hook bait that I use. Really well hooked, thread it through the tail, come out back for the head, and it makes a really nice, well presented bait, and smoothhounds just go mental for it. But like I said, a nice smelly fish bait will get it as well. Best way to present these, coming into rigs and tactics, is a pennel rig or a single good strong hook. They've got really tough pads in their mouths, smoothhounds, and they are a powerful fish. So when you get one, it will go. So a nice strong hook. A crab hook, that especially designed crab hook, is probably something that you're going to want to use, or a nice big Camazan, something like that, just so it's not going to bend out if you do get something special on there. But the best way to present a crab bait is a couple of ways. Peeler crab, you can either fish it whole straight through the back and present it as a whole crab. If it's live, people tend to like pulling the pincers off. For me, I'm not that bothered. A smoothhound's going to be eating those in the wild and it's not going to care about their pincers, and that goes for the hardback crabs as well. People do it, I think, just in case, to add that little bit of a, well, it's not going to scare the fish off. They're not going to care anyway because it's what they eat for a living to literally to survive. So me personally, I'm not that fussed about doing that. But hooking it once through the back and out through the body. Another way of hooking a hardback crab is if you take off one of the back legs, go in through the hole that you've just made, and then pop it out again through the center. That's another way that people like to do it. Peeler crabs, you can present them like that, or take a peeler crab, snip it in half, thread it onto your hook, and then whip it on with bait elastic. And then you can whip it on in such a way that the legs are all tied together, and you can leave a couple of legs out the sides just to make a bit of attraction. That's a really popular way of doing it as well. And then squid baits, fish baits. Small squid on a pennel rig is another good bait for smoothhounds. Alternatively, much like turbot, once through the tail, done, easy, and that's it. Bit of lead, a 12-20, because they are a bit meaty, but you can scale down or up as much as you feel comfortable and as much sport as you want. They will, a smoothhound on light spinning gear is great fun. You just need to make sure that your lines and your traces are up to scratch. So don't go too light on your hook lengths, because like I said, they have got a really raspy mouth, and if you're fishing light just because you want to fish the sport, all that'll end up happening is you'll lose your traces and start leaving hooks in fish. So sensible sort of 20-30 pound fluorocarbon just to get you through. You can even beef that right up if you want to. But yeah, on terms of your rods and reels, as light as you dare to go, really. So top tip there, number one, fresh crabs. Can't beat it. Like I said, live hardback crabs. If you've got children, it's a great thing to go and do on a weekend, kill some time as well. You can go down there, get the kids all going, drop nets, little crab traps, or even going rock pooling. Not an option for me, but it might be for you. And there as well, you can also pick up your big prawns as well. But yeah, nice, fresh hardback crabs, bit of seaweed in a bucket, and they're good to go and they stay alive as well. Don't put water in the bucket, because unless you've got an aerator, then the water will go stale and they'll die. But a bit of fresh seaweed, they're good to go. Nice fresh crab baits is absolutely brilliant. And like I said earlier, hermit crabs, if you can get them, I think that tops even peeler crab, personally, from my experience down the years. It's just an absolutely brilliant bait, and they go wild for it. And the second top tip I will give is a southwesterly blow, especially here, anywhere along the south coast. A strong southwesterly, much like it's a bit of an indicator for bass fishermen, after a really strong blow, the one where those waves are crashing into the beach, what that does to the bottom is it overturns rocks, it stirs it all up, all the mud's flowing in the water. Smoothhounds absolutely love dirty water. They get right in tight on a big stir up, on a big southwesterly or a big southerly. The ones where the water is thick brown and you think, oh my God, there's no clarity there. A big smelly bait into a rocky reefy area, either on a pennel with a rotten bottom or however you want to fish it, at times you will get absolutely swarms and swarms of smoothhounds in there, and sometimes they are right at your feet. So after a big southwesterly blow, much like the bass fisherman, for a shore angler or even a boat angler, get in nice and tight, put your crab baits down, put your smelly squid down, because you can have some absolutely cracking days after a big southwesterly. Well, that's been another Fish Fridays, and that has been the Smoothhound. Thanks for joining me. I've got a whole playlist on these, so if you're after a particular fish or you want a few maybe hints and tips, or just to see and hear how I fish for them, go and check those out. And if you do like the video, please give it a like. And if you like the channel, please subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again soon.